What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the 90s First Show, where we talk the movies and TV shows that we've been watching. My name is Mike, and I am with my co-host, Justin. How you doing today, Justin?
I'm doing great. And are you ready to talk about a scary movie?
No. Anyway, we're talking about a scary movie today. So, welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. We are going to be talking about Scream 2022 here today. Really excited. Glad to be talking this brand new movie. It came out in January, and hopefully you guys have watched it before you click on this episode. If you guys haven't watched it, it is available digitally as well on Paramount Plus. So if you want to subscribe to there for maybe 1 month and check it out, I would definitely recommend it.
Do it. You have to do it. If you're an original fan, you have to see this one. Okay, yes. You have to.
I agree 100%. But before we get into that, please leave a review for the podcast on your podcatcher of choice. It really helps us out. If you are on Spotify, hit that follow button, as well as rate our podcast, 5 out of 5 stars, whatever stars you would like to give us. The star rating on Spotify is only on mobile, so make sure you go to your mobile app instead of the desktop app and rate us there. As always, Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review there. We would love to read it on the show or listen to it or whatever. Anyway, yep. Inside joke. And if you're joining us for the first time, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoy our kind of like format podcast here. Thanks for downloading and watching and listening. We really appreciate it. And so if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that sub and like button and leave us a comment down below this video. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you thought about the conversation here today. A little bit of housekeeping. We do have Test Your Might, which is our video game debate show. We do have a brand new episode of that, and we will be doing a crossover with the Infinity Bros, some friends of the show. In fact, Isaac, who is on our last episode of Test Your Might, was on the 90s very first episode to start this whole thing. So go check out that Test Your Might episode. Would love if you guys do. That's all we got. So we are today talking about Scream, which is Scream 5 technically, but they made it the same name. They kind of did the same thing as Halloween 2018, huh? So, just calling it the same thing. But anyway, it is a sequel to the original Scream as well as the 3 others. And yeah, if you guys have not seen our review of the original Scream, I will link it down below. I'll also get a card. I'll try those YouTube card things. It's those things that pop up in the top right corner that link the video. Yeah. Did you know what that is? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah, I'm a YouTuber. Anyway, so yeah, this movie, Scream 5, directed by Matt Bettinelli, Open and Tyler Gillett, written by James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. The characters are based on characters by Kevin Williamson, produced by William Sherrick, James Vanderbilt, and Paul Nightstein, and it stars Melissa Barrera, Mason Gooding, Jenna Ortega, Jack Quaid, I love Jack Quaid, by the way, Marley Shelton, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Nev Campbell, and Roger L. Jackson. Music by Brian Tyler. This had a budget of $24 million, and at the box office, it took in a whopping $138.7 million. So that's good news, right? Thoughts on the box office there, Justin?
Gee, wow! For a sequel, a long-running film sequel, coming back to that. That is ridiculous. Just think, 24 million. That's all it took to make this thing, and then you got 138.7 in that box office this far into the future, from the 90s film to now. Some of the fluff in the middle. I'm sure we'll talk about that, but geez, that's huge. That's a big increase, and that's pretty good. That tells fans that you should go see this. It's not the hype train. It is a great film. Let's go into high-level thoughts. Mike, I want to hear yours first. I've been waiting to hear them. I've been telling them, no, don't say anything. No. This is for the fans. We have to wait for it. I want to hear these high-level thoughts from Mike.
We'll do our spoiler-free review right now. I'm just gonna spoil my rating. This is a 5 out of 5. I loved every second that I was watching this movie. I really only have one gripe about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we'll get into that into kind of like the spoiler stuff, but yeah. This did what the new Matrix movie was trying to do.
You took my line.
Yep, I did. Because you knew I was going to bring it up. The Matrix film tried to be self-aware of itself. It tried to be a meta film where it was a commentary on itself.
The bullet time.
Yeah, and they just did it very poorly. Whereas this movie does maybe it's a retread of what the original Scream was, and to maybe the broadest extent, yes, it is. But it does it so well that it's almost the perfect meta film. Now let me contrast this with Halloween 2018. You know I love Halloween 2018, and that is what this movie calls a requel, a rebooted sequel. And Halloween 2018, what it did was, it was perfect to me in a sense as well, because it took what Halloween, the original, needed, what the original was, and created a film that was tied so greatly and interwoven to the original, 40 years later, that it just did it in such a way that was so honoring, while also bringing in and bridging in, bridging the gap for the new age of horror fans. Whereas this one, it does the same exact thing, but it's obviously a riff on itself, which is what Scream the original was. And so honestly, we are, I don't know if you agree with this, but we are in a golden age of slasher films right now, that we have not seen since the likes of the Halloween to the mid 80s to late 80s. Like, this is bar none, with Halloween Kills, and now this, and to some extent I like Scream 4. We haven't reviewed that or talked about it, but I did enjoy Scream 4. So to some extent, going back even to there, we are in a heyday of slashers, and I'm all here for it. So Justin, your thoughts?
Amazing. I'm not going to spoil my rating, but Mike, what you have said spoke to my soul. I grew up with these movies. I grew up with these horror movies, these good movies, and to see something rehashed and made fun of itself throughout the whole film, I couldn't look away. And I know you were the same. You were like, I can't wait to finish. I can't wait to watch this till the end, because every moment of that film was a reminder of what we grew up with and what horror movies should be. I feel like every little trope and niche that they joked about was there for a reason in this film, and I enjoyed every moment of it. It was so good. It even took light on its prequels, or its the sequels from the original. It took light on those in this movie. So if you didn't like those, you'll like this movie just for that. I cannot recommend it enough. Please, if you're a fan of Scream, if you're a fan of Ghostface, or just 80s, 90s horror slasher films, go see
slashers
this,
in general.
Please, because this is a phenomenal take on something classic, and you will enjoy it. It's modernized, but it's good.
It is like I'm telling you, I just like loving, Halloween Kills, and then this, like I'm a huge slasher fan. This is something that me and Justin have bonded on for years, and this and video games and just like our, just our friendship, this is what has brought us and glued us so tightly, is horror films and video games. And to think that like slasher films are back, it's amazing. I'm so looking forward to the future of this franchise, of Halloween Ends coming later this year. Like, yeah. So this is
that,
your.
I want to add one more.
Go ahead.
I want to add one more thing here. I know Mike is a big fan of whodunit movies alone, and this movie kept that formula from the original. That you're questioning everything, you're enjoying everything, and thinking, "Oh, that could be that could be that," and then your mind is blown because you're like, "Oh, well, I was wrong," and then you start questioning that. This whole film does that instead as well. So if you like whodunit mystery solvers with a little bit of gore, there you go. All right, we'll continue now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Speaking of that, Knives Out and
it's getting
Knives Out 2.
Right?
Well, Knives Out 2 is already out, I think. Or no, it's coming later this month. For
scaring me. You're scaring me, man. I thought I was out
but regardless, it's coming to Netflix. And I want to do a review of that. So
we
stay tuned. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that was your spoiler-free review. We will be going into spoiler territory. So this is your spoiler warning. Hey, you.
What's that? What the?
What are you doing?
Who, me?
Do you want to be spoiled? No? Well then.
Stop it. Get some help.
So you don't feel like this guy. Instead, let it be a surprise.
Oh, I like surprises.
So go watch the thing before you move on in the podcast, okay?
Alrighty then.
All right, that was your official spoiler warning. So let's get into the plot here, Justin. So 25 years after Billy Loomis and Stu Macher's killing spree in Woodsboro, a high school student named
Hold up, those are the characters from the original film, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
What?
A high school student named Tara Carpenter is home alone when she is attacked by none other than Ghostface and left hospitalized. So I guess this whole starting act, like, where does it like equate to the original? What do you think?
So this is shortly after the events of the first film, or in their universe, Stab 1. Stab 1 story, anyway.
Yeah.
That's the confusing thing for me.
It's so meta that they have
their own movie based on the own characters and the own events in it. It's great. This has got to be shortly, obviously 28 years after the events of the first film for us, but in real life for them, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think this opening scene was fantastic. Again, like you'll hear us talk about Scream. Scream subverts your expectations. That's like the whole premise of it, because it plays off the tropes of horror films, of slashers. Like, you look in a dark place, you expect the slasher to be there, and he's not in these movies. And that's what's so brilliant about Scream being a play on itself, a play on its genre. And I just like, the reason why this opening scene works so much for me is because Tara Carpenter, like that character, she's part of my one gripe in this movie, but like she also in this first scene does a phenomenal job in what the way that they wrote it to bring in modern horror, like the Babadook and like all those that kind of like Hereditary and stuff like that. Those kind of like psychological horrors, what horror is right now. Mm-hmm. They bring it into the slasher genre and it works so fantastic.
Let me talk about the cinematography just here for a short while here. So the film opens almost identical to The Matrix does, the original Matrix and the new Matrix, where it is a complete black screen, and you just hear the phone ringing, and you know what you're in store for. And then it cuts to the actual film cut.
Yeah.
So that is what introduces you into this world of, obviously, the phone call at the beginning of Scream and the girl alone or whatever. It's so great. It's great immersion right off the bat and gets your feet running. That's what Scream is great for, and one of the best opening things you can do for this movie.
Yeah. It was, it's really good. And the biggest thing too is that they are always aware of modern sensibilities as well. So what they do is they play on the fact that like texting is part of this all, and like it brings it to a modern era and does it so brilliantly and perfectly that it's just a perfect opening scene. So in Modesto, Tara's estranged older sister, Sam Carpenter, which Carpenter, play on John Carpenter, by the way. That's how meta this movie is, is informed about the attack by Wes Hicks, one of Tara's friends. So Wes Hicks, he calls her, tells her that Tara's been attacked by Ghostface. Sam returns to Woodsboro with her boyfriend Richie to visit Tara in the hospital, where Sam is reunited with Tara's friend group, which are Wes, Amber Freeman, twins Chad and Mindy Meeks Martin, and Chad's girlfriend Liv McKenzie. And by the way, Chad and Mindy Meeks Martin are the niece and nephew of the original Randy Meeks in Scream. So
yeah,
that's kind of the tie there. But yeah, where are we sitting with like this introduction into the friend group, Justin? Like, what do you got?
You know, this was very similar to the what is it, like the fountain scene in the original, where you're meeting the characters and they're all kind of doing their high school kind of thing and talking to each other. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was good. It was a good introduction into each character and each of their quirks / relationships with each other. It was well done.
Yeah. So, let me get into my one gripe with this movie. Otherwise, I think it's really perfect. And that is Sam Carpenter. Not her character and how the character's built. I don't think she's a very good actress. I didn't think that she was believable in a lot of scenes, and I think in some scenes she really hit it, like, and we'll get to it later, where she does become her father's legacy in a sense at the end of the movie. But like I do wish that like Tara Carpenter was more of the focus, because I think she was a really, really good actress. You might disagree with me, but I just, there were some scenes where I didn't believe the actress, and like Sam wasn't very believable to me. So that's my one gripe with the film, to be honest.
I will not agree with you on that.
Okay.
I enjoyed Sam's performance.
Yeah, that was my one gripe. But other than that, like, I still think that she did a phenomenal job in those high energy, like, scary scenes. But like it was when they dulled it down, and like she was just talking and stuff like that, she just didn't seem super believable to me.
Well, this is very similar to the original, and you should probably watch it a second time, because you pick up on all those things you missed the first time. You should watch it again, and then maybe that'll change.
Maybe I will.
Maybe you will.
No, I mean, it's not a matter of like the character, it's a matter of how she acted in some scenes. I don't think that's
I liked it.
Yeah, I okay, well, whatever. So anyway, Tara is visited in the hospital by Sam. Everybody's reunited. And
I think it's the hospital scene behind me, if you're watching.
Yeah, the hospital scene.
He's got a knife somewhere.
So anyway, Tara's in the hospital. Sam visits, and Ghostface does eventually show up and tries to kill Sam. And at this point, at this point you just don't know who the killer is. Like you have no inkling, and that's what's great about Scream. But also, yeah, they were at a bar hanging out, which was really weird because these are high schoolers. Like, wasn't that weird?
Yeah, you know, it's modern times. They're out there playing billiards and talking. This was actually a very funny part here for Chad, because they talk about the babysitter and how she used to let him wear onesies, Pokemon onesies, every night or something. And then he does this look, I don't know if you noticed it, where he's like, that's true. And he reminded me of President Obama, like his voice. It was just funny. It was a little like, if you watch it and you're like, that's true, it's true. He has some characteristics that really made it pretty funny for me. I don't know.
Yeah. No, like honestly, everybody did just a really good job in their roles. So anyway, that night, Liv's ex-boyfriend Vince Schneider actually is coming and kind of like harassing Chad, and stuff like that. And Chad's like showing his muscles, be like, "Yo, this is my girl now. Can't have you being around here." And
he uses the Hobbs and Shaw line.
Yeah.
Like from Fast and Furious. He's like, I think it's time to show him Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. That was hilarious. But yeah, they end up, he's like peeing on the bar that they're at, and he ends up getting killed by Ghostface outside of the bar.
We talk about how brutal this film is. It's pretty brutal.
Oh,
for a Scream film, you see a lot more gruesome, grotesque things in this one. So if you're a little squeamish, it's a little bit harder hitter, but it's worth the watch.
Yeah, this is what I love about Ghostface as a slasher, is that Ghostface is very, he's certainly a methodical killer, but also he's methodical in the sense that Michael Myers is, right?
Yeah.
But Ghostface is quick about it. Like that stab.
Oh, in the parking
Vince,
lot.
Yeah, to Vince Schneider was disgusting. Like it was like right into the
what about
the throat.
The drop kick on Tara?
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, which is what is amazing about like again Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and this is that they make Scream and Michael Myers more, or they make Ghostface and Michael Myers more brutal, and that's what the update to slasher films kind of needed, with both of their methodical killings as well intertwined.
Yeah.
So anyway, at the hospital, Sam is attacked by Ghostface and tells Tara that she has been dealing with hallucinations of Billy Loomis, who ends up being Sam's biological father. So how did you like this through line?
I enjoyed this direct correlation to the original film in a way that was kind of entrapping the story together, which was good. I want to say I was actually thinking when she was being attacked that it was all a hallucination. It was very questionable, like the actions of the characters and how she was reacting to things during the fight. It made me even question her sanability, like if she was sane.
Yeah,
I don't know if it did the same
whether
for
or
you.
not that was really Ghostface.
Yeah, like if it was just in her head.
I totally agree with you. Like I think like you get this point where
with her character.
Yeah, with her character specifically, you're seeing these hallucinations of Billy Loomis, and you really don't know if reality is reality for her, as well as if our reality is the same as her reality.
Yeah, she definitely took the right idea and made sure she stayed alive regardless.
And these are the scenes that like Sam is believable, like to me.
Yeah.
Whereas like at the end of the movie, like when she goes up to Sydney and Gail, and she's just like, "Am I gonna be okay?" Like that part. Those are the scenes that I really didn't think she was believable.
Well, she's suffering with mental illness and playing it off in a good acting role.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so Sam's true parentage results in their parents' separation, and is why Sam became estranged from Tara. And again, I really the bond that you get between the sisters here in this movie, after everything that happens, like, I think, again, this is a perfect through line of the story here. So, so Sam and Richie, let's talk about Richie. This was Jack Quaid's character, and Richie is Sam's boyfriend, and they both returned to Woodsboro to figure out what happened to Tara here. Now Richie, he comes off as just a supportive boyfriend, like doesn't even understand, doesn't even know what Woodsboro is, and he's just along for the ride. Do you like Richie at this point? Like, I think
he's in there for comical relief, honestly. He's sitting in the hospital room watching Stab on Netflix, trying to prepare in case they get attacked. Like, I think he's there for comic relief, but at the same time, nobody is not questionable as the killer. So you're looking at everybody in particular, and we'll get to him later on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Sam and Richie want to figure out what is going on with this new Ghostface, and so they visit one of the originals, Dewey Riley. He is divorced from Gale Weathers, another original character, and they ask him for his help in stopping the killer, and he doesn't want to help initially.
No, he just kicks him out.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
but he does give him some good advice. He does give him some good advice. He always says, go back to the original. Everything always goes back to the original. And one of the key things, he just calls it out right out the bat. He said, how long has Sam known Richie? And they just talk about their relationship for a little while, and it always goes back to the boyfriend or girlfriend. So he calls something out right away. Obviously being Dewey and being through it already, he kind of knows what's going on.
Definitely knows what's going on. But at this point, Dewey is retired. He's no longer the sheriff. He's basically a drunk living in a trailer because he divorced Gale, and he's not with her anymore. And this brings up the good start to Dewey's kind of thing in this movie. And he actually does end up joining them. And
luckily,
they end up going... Luckily, yes. They end up going to Mindy and Chad's home, reunited with the twins' mother, Martha, Randy Meeks' sister. So kind of a little through line there as well. And I loved that scene. Dewey was like, "You look good." And she's like, "You look... yeah."
Yep. That's the humor they got to throw in there.
It was so funny. It was so good. So anyway, at this scene, this scene was awesome, man. Like, I just loved this scene where you have Mindy coming in as the new, like, expert. Mindy and Chad are kind of like the new expert. In fact, all of these teens are really like the experts here, but really, like, Mindy, I think Mindy does a phenomenal job being the new Randy. Like, she really does. She was brilliant in this movie
until she lets her guard down. But yes, she does a great job at pointing out all the flaws in horror movie genres, and also, like, just her knowledge of horror movies in general and what not to do and what to do, and trying to relay that to others physically and mentally. It is a great character development for her.
Awesome. She was one of my favorite characters, as was Randy in the original movie. But so due to the 3 attacks having targeted people related to the original killer, Sam is accused of being the killer, which kind of crazy, which is what, again, we're going to say it so many times, which is what we love about these Scream movies. Like, nobody is not a suspect. Like, everybody is a suspect, even Justin here. And like, Sam, like, she's been gone this whole time. Like, what's to say that she wasn't in town and attacked Tara, that night. And so
nothing is off the table, really,
Yeah, nothing. They even accused Dewey, so. But what I think is crazy about this version of Ghostface is that this Ghostface is not fearful. Because the very next scene, Ghostface murders Wes and his mother, Sheriff Judy Hicks, at their home in broad daylight.
Yeah. I was like, he's stabbing her in their front yard in daylight, not caring one bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
So just let me ask you, I knew that Judy Hicks was gonna die.
Yeah, same.
I knew it.
I like the whole take on Scream, though.
In the way that she died, I had no clue. Like,
oh, really?
That was a phenomenal kill. Like,
I enjoyed every moment of the Alfred Hitchcock Psycho plot that was going on. It was such a great nod. And then, the race home, the scared. She played it so well from an actress point of view. To that last moment.
Yeah.
It was great. It's great.
Exactly. But yeah, that was amazing. I loved every second of it.
And also, police were on their way to her house. Like, and he's still like out in the front yard, just taking care of business. Yeah. Like, no fear whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. So there, at the scene of the crime, Dewey actually reunites with Gail.
There you go.
Who Dewey literally told her not to come, and she does. And she actually comes to cover the story. She says about 90%. I came for you, Dewey. 10%. They made me. So that was a funny scene. But like, I think Courtney Cox still is a good actress. Like, I think she did okay in this. I think there was something a little off with her, but I don't think it was too drastic.
She's aged a little bit, but she did a good job to fill the role she was supposed to.
Yeah. Exactly. So, all right, at the hospital, Tara and Richie are attacked by Ghostface, but are saved by Dewey and Sam. So, Sam rather gets a. So the way that it is set up is that there was a cop that was guarding Tara, right? Mm-hmm. And Sam sees that cop at the scene of the crime, and she's like, "Yo, who's watching my sister?"
Yeah. One of the gripes that I thought I was gonna have when watching the scene at the hospital was, where is everybody? Like, they're just empty in a hospital. There's no one else there. And then it was explained, so I can't use it. They literally said, "Oh, we're all, the sheriff."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, we get these awesome scenes. Sam is rushing through traffic, rushing through red lights. Dewey is in the Prius with them. Which is so funny too. Like, even that is a joke.
Yeah.
I think of the other guys, like, in the Prius. This is just perfect. But yeah, and all the while, they're on a phone call with Ghostface. While Tara and Richie are getting attacked. So at least Richie is there to kind of help the situation. But I believe Richie gets sliced on the arm, and then Tara is getting attacked. She's in a wheelchair.
Yeah. He definitely gets kind of maimed, flesh wounds.
And so what's really cool about this scene is that Ghostface, gives Sam the choice. Do you want to save Tara, or do you want to save Richie, this boyfriend that you have? And Sam is, hesitating and stuff like that. And we come to find out that she was only hesitating because they were already on the elevator, ready to attack Ghostface.
Guns blazing as soon as the doors open.
Yeah. Yep. So,
and now Dewey it's Matrix Ghostface. Scream.
Yeah. Matrix Scream. Dewey is he is going against Ghostface here. He knocks Ghostface down. Ghostface is down for the count. Everything. They get back on the elevator, and Dewey says, "I didn't shoot him in the head."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna go back. You gotta Put one in the head. The killer always comes back.
Explain this kill to me. Like, explain this fight scene.
Well, Dewey has to reload. He 6 bullets gone, 6 bullets in. This is one of the most impactful deaths that I've had in modern horror in a long time. The fight between them was back and forth, but ended up with Ghostface winning, and you see Dewey die officially.
Brutal death, too.
Brutal. And that makes you feel, it gives you shivers because you see this legend character, or not legend character, but legacy character coming into this film and then dying as if he was, nothing. But to us, he was everything. It's the same as seeing Sydney or Gail die. It would be tough. But it's like,
I don't know if it wasn't for nothing. I think this was a very honorable death.
Well, yes, but that made this film mean something more. And they even bring that trope into it.
The stakes
later
are
on.
higher.
Yeah, the stakes are much higher because they killed off a legacy character. The killer did.
All right. Well, and even so, like, Ghostface was literally like, it was an honor. Like, he says that it was an honor to kill you, basically, as an original character, because what Ghostface is, when you come to find out, is Ghostface is a savant of himself, basically. Like, he is an expert of himself. He is a connoisseur of stab movies. He is a connoisseur of Scream, and he, like, that kill meant something to the slasher, which is really cool. So, which is the complete opposite of Michael Myers, right? Like, what I love about especially the new films, what they're doing with Halloween, is that it's never been about Jamie Lee Curtis. It's never been about Laurie Strode. He's just evil, and he just wants to kill. And that's the complete opposite with Ghostface. Like Michael Myers wouldn't care if Laurie Strode is dead. I mean, maybe a little, but like, he's just doing it to kill, versus like Ghostface, like, it's even more methodical in a sense. But anyway, Sydney arrives actually in town after learning of Dewey's death, and she's like, yo, I'm sick and tired of this, but I'm here.
She's looking all right too. She doesn't age very well, like bad. I mean, she looks good. She's doing good.
All right. We'll move on. Learning of Dewey's death and meets both Gail and Sam at the hospital. Sydney asks Sam to help stop the killer, but Sam actually declines. She chooses to leave town with Richie and Tara, but they are forced to stop at Amber's house to retrieve an inhaler for Tara. So Tara lost her inhaler. She knows that one of her best friends has an extra, and so they go. But Sydney puts a tracker on their car.
That line, like after they pull away, and Gail's like, "Why'd you let him go?" He's like, I put a tracker.
Yeah, like, I mean, why does Sydney Prescott have a tracker? Like,
she's used to this stuff. She's ready to go. Maybe she,
I guess.
I don't know. Maybe she's having relationship issues. I don't know. She's doing something on the side. She's got some business.
Oh man. But anyway, so they end up, Richie, Tara, and Sam end up at Amber's house, and Sydney and Gail follow them there. Justin. So like there were some scenes in there, where I saw the party happening. First of all, don't have a party in scary movies. Anyway, secondly, there were some scenes where I was like, this is the original house, isn't it? Even before that reveal happened, I was like, I've seen that bookcase before.
I've seen that staircase.
I've seen the layout of this before. But they did you're a huge cinematography person, so they did those reveals in such a small way that, like, again, it still it still like plays with your expectations. It's like, is this the house?
Oh,
No,
I
it
saw it and
can't
I
be.
knew it.
They're-
I knew it as
They're
soon as
not doing.
But the reveal, like the tropes this movie takes of just the little
Yeah.
things, it's great. They do a great job
No.
of just
Yeah,
hitting
it's
those
phenomenal.
little key points that make a great film,
Mhm.
for sure.
All right. Are you looking at the plot on Wiki?
Yeah, I'm on it.
All right, you continue.
All right, so we just they arrived at
Amber's house.
Amber's house. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, Amber's house to retrieve the inhaler for Tara. Sydney and Gail follow them to Amber's house with the tracker, which is revealed to be Stu's former home, where the original Woodsboro massacre took place. There, Chad and Mindy are both attacked and stabbed by Ghostface. Brutal.
Yeah.
And as Sam tends to an injured Mindy, because Mindy let her guard down, of course,
Yeah.
watching a scene about turning behind you on the couch where the original stabbing took place on the couch in the scene that she's watching on the TV. And then later, like at the last second,
Yeah.
she's like, oh, wait a second.
Well, the thing with Chad too is that like he is an expert, but even the experts can be outplayed in these movies.
Oh, yeah, with
Um,
modern technology and tracking your girlfriend outside into the bushes,
Yeah.
like with a candlestick. I was like,
Come on now.
all right. So Amber pulls out a gun, and let's talk about the basement scene. It's not even in here. Well, there's
Yeah,
a
it
little
isn't
bit
in
coming up. But they go down to the basement to get more beer. Like, this is a trope on the original Scream right there. And I was like, oh, there better be a garage door where they're going. No, there's not. Okay. But they play that trope so well of not going alone and getting scared down there.
The scene was perfect though. They're like accusing each other. They're playing off that, and it works out really, really well. So
That's good. So Amber pulls out a gun and shoots Liv in the head, revealing her as Ghostface. Fleeing to
So,
the... go ahead.
let me pause you here because this is where I got taken out of the movie just ever so slightly. Listeners, if you watch this movie and you see how Dewey dies, like that Ghostface was Amber. It was. I don't think Amber would have had the strength to kill Dewey in the way that he died, because like she brought the knife like halfway up his stomach. Like, do you really think like Amber would have had that strength, Justin?
No,
Like,
well,
it
the
like
whole
took
film...
me out of the movie just a little bit.
The whole film, I'm like, this is so close to the original, there better be a second killer or this movie is broken. And this is where you get that idea.
There's always
that
a second killer.
There's always a second killer.
But yeah, like that's the only thing. Like that kill alone was the only one that like brought me out of that element. Like Amber literally would not have been able to do that.
Well,
at all.
the original drop kick too that's a very like you have that's I don't know how to put it, but it takes skill to do that and force to do that drop kick.
And you'll know why here in a second why we know that was Amber who killed Dewey. So continue, Justin.
Fleeing to the basement, Richie speculates to Sam that Tara is Amber's accomplice. So, more speculation, whodunits. Sam leaves him to find Tara and discover her tied up in the closet.
Imagine telling your girlfriend that you think her sister is Ghostface.
Yeah, right. Well, so this tied up, if you noticed, was pretty similar to the way Cindy's original father was tied up in the closet. Very similar tying. It's just a nod. So then Gail and Sydney arrive finally. They walk up to the house, and you get that classic scene of a person stumbling out, and they're there with arms, like guns, ready to go, and they don't know who is the killer, so they just shoot her. Like Amber just shoots injured Gail because Amber pulls
Well,
out
I
her
think
gun.
it was a matter. I think it was a matter of like Amber realized that she's not going to fool
Yeah.
the original people.
Yeah, they were
with
just
her
like,
dumb acting.
we're not taking your word for it. And then Amber's just like,
Yeah.
screw this, and then just pulls a gun out and shoots Gail in the stomach, pretty much where she got shot originally, which is interesting. Richie then stabs Sam and reveals himself to be Amber's partner. So this whole film, this guy that was watching Scream or Stab on Netflix in the hospital and trying to be the good boyfriend by getting his girlfriend away was secretly the other accomplice.
Actually, the killer.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean so that's why we know that like Amber was the one that killed Dewey, because Richie was on the elevator at that point and was also being attacked. So so yeah, this reveal was awesome. Like it really was. Would you agree?
I didn't think it was Richie. I really didn't, and I didn't want it to be. My counterpart knew it was Richie the whole time, apparently. Called it before it was revealed. So I guess it has to be. I was said it was going to be, earlier in the film, we had Randy have bruises on his arm shortly after the first attack. And he said, oh, it's from football. And I was like, okay, that's a little tiny, like, it was just that, nothing more. So I was like, maybe it could be.
Well, that was
him.
Chad.
No, that was Chad. Yeah, that's Chad. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
So I had a feeling that it was Amber the whole time, because there were some scenes where like she just hated Sam.
Yeah.
And like you saw it in her face. And so I really had an inkling that it was her. I had no clue it was Richie. Dewey told us that it was him.
Yeah, you literally called him out right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. So, all right, man.
So Richie then stabs Sam and reveals himself to be Amber's partner. Richie and Amber take Sam, to the kitchen, where they reveal they are fans of the Stab series and they met online. So like back to the kitchen where the huge plot is revealed, which was great. A little nod again. It's so close to the original film. It's so great. Disappointed in the trajectory taken with most recent Stab 8, they decide to embark on a new killing spree, bringing back the original cast and provide new and improved source material for future requel Stab films, and intend to frame Sam as the killer. So it's very similar with the framing aspect, but
it's a really good plot.
This is them telling you that all the other sequels to Scream 1 were terrible, and we want to rehash it, and we want to get it back by bringing in the legacy characters, by bringing in characters and stories from the original source material to make.
I don't know if they were terrible, but
not well received.
Not as well received, not as well received, obviously, but I don't think they were terrible.
Yeah, it is what it is. Not as good as this, for sure. This took the cake.
This
is very close to what Halloween did. I always go back to that, is where they cut out all that middle material and just squished the two films together, and it did so well. And I really think it's doing great. All right, so after Tara fights Amber and Sam attacks Richie, Gail breaks free and shoots Amber, who lands on the stove and is set on fire. What did you think of that kill?
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, you saw how it was going to happen. They threw hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Their foreshadows in this movie are so on point. Mm-hmm. You saw the fire, and then you instantly knew that she was going to be set on fire because she has hand sanitizer. She has alcohol all over her.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just brilliant. I loved Gail. I loved Sydney in these scenes. Like, they both did really good fighting off Amber. I think that like Amber is they make her out to be insanely strong in this movie, and like I feel like Sydney and Gale could have taken her easily, but they still wanted to give you that sense that maybe the bad guy could win. But no, they shoot her, and she's set on fire, bro.
She's definitely dead. She ain't coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane to see that flame go up and her screaming and stuff. That was good. So Sam is injured and uses Amber's abandoned knife, like literally Richie or Randy? It's Randy, the person that she's seeing. Her, I can't think of the name.
Billy Loomis.
Looking at the wrong names.
Randy is the
yes.
Randy
Billy
Meeks is the expert. Billy Loomis is the.
So she sees Billy literally point, "Hey, underneath the blinds, underneath the curtains over there," and there's a knife, which is crazy. So literally helping her.
And it's the original Scream.
Yeah.
Scream knife too.
Jeez. So stabs Richie repeatedly before shooting him to finish him off. She had to fight her own boyfriend. Amber attempts to attack the group again, but is shot by Tara. Like, she just doesn't give up.
I don't know. Like,
it's gotta, you know.
Yeah, but Amber like is literally running, and Tara's like, she's that accurate with a gun? Has she ever shot a gun before?
Apparently, she's gonna be the new Cindy.
Apparently, no, her and Sam are. I mean, I don't know. Like this. That was funny. That was not funny. I used the wrong word there. That was just a good ending, man. It really was.
It rounded out the whole entire story. That's good. Yeah.
And then the one last thing here, which is the Meeks twins, like I was so set on Chad actually being dead. That like Mindy, like as she was being carted out, like she just looked so like cool about everything. And I'm like, dude, your brother just died. Why are you not crying? Why are you not taking this seriously? And then Chad's alive. So I was like, oh, okay. Then you're cool with me. I love the Meeks twins still.
They did a great job in the story. You know, she's just, I'm good with it. You know, it's a horror movie. It's what it is.
Yeah.
So Gale refuses to write about the new murders, which is crazy, and gives the would give the killers notoriety, opting to write a tribute to Dewey instead, her old love. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that is Scream 5. Once again, if you do want to check it out, it is available digitally. Not physically yet. That's coming in April, but it's also on Paramount Plus. So if you subscribe to that already, you can watch it now. Also, all of the Scream movies are on there, so take a look at the franchise as a whole. Or, again, purchase it digitally if you would like to do that as well. I personally, like I said, I already gave my review. This is 5 out of 5 cell phone calls out of 5. That's particular ring. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. Justin, what's your rating?
I'm going to go with 5 out of 5 legacy characters.
Were there I think there were 5 in there, maybe. There was Gale,
give or take, with the dead ones included, because they did include the originals. Yeah. It's about 5.
Right. Sounds good. Yeah, there was Billy Loomis, there was Judy Hicks, there was Dewey, there was Gale, and there was Sydney. That's 5.
Bam. Look at that.
Bam.
Duck nose.
All right. 5 out of 5 legacy characters. You heard it from us. This is a perfect score from both of us here. So with that being said, let us know if you enjoyed the new Scream down in the comments in a review. Let us know how we're doing. We would love and appreciate if you leave us a review. Please hit that sub button, like, and comment down below. Yeah, that was Scream 5. A perfect film for us. We loved it so much. Maybe we're a little biased because we love slashers, but still, I think regardless,
it's worth it.
This film sits on its own merits. And yeah, this has been your Scream review. Little foreshadow into what's coming next. We have a lot of plans for the 90s First Show. We're going to be reviewing the Lord of the Rings series off Amazon, maybe some of those movies as well. We're going to be doing some more horror stuff as well. We love horror films over here. So yeah, a lot of stuff is coming. So stay tuned. Love to have you here. So my name is Mike. You can follow me at StayAtHomeGamer on Twitter. The O in home is a 0. And that's Justin. You can follow him at JustinM2500, which if you're watching the video, we have those down below. So, Justin, my name's Mike. This has been the 90s First Show, Scream Review, and we're out.
Bye.
Bye.
Want to play a game? Oh, that's the wrong movie. Want to watch a movie?
What's your favorite? No, he does want to play a game.
Yeah, I guess he does.
Right?
Yeah. So
What's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah. What's the answer to this question? Trick question. Batman got it right.
Batman? What?
I don't know.
All right.
Test. Okay.
All right, ready?
Yo, let's get it.
3, 2, 1, go. Why didn't you say go?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm It's early in the morning. I'm sorry. This is going to be a great episode regardless. Welcome to the show, guys.
We're going to start that over.
What? That's funny. Keep that.
No, I'll leave it in there, but I'll do a blooper at the end. How about that?
Okay.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Go. Spoiler warning.
Now I'm actually going to create a separate video to add into for a spoiler warning. So I'm gonna record that.
Spoiler warning video. Input here.
Anyway. So yeah, all right.